everyone, just wanted to take you through how I installed PC-DOS onto my RiscPC. So the first thing I had to do was, to make it quicker, I took a copy of all of the floppy disk images. I managed to find a copy of those online, thankfully, so I got all of those downloaded, uploaded into FTP. I dropped all of those floppy images into disk C and actually dropped them into this directory here called PC-DOS. This is using the DOS shell over on the PC side of things. So we've now gone to full screen again. So into PC-DOS, if we expand that, I dropped everything. There were actually originally 5 disk images, but I dropped all of those files into this single directory. And what that allowed me to do was to basically install everything from this one directory without having to install or run any of the floppy disk images or swap around floppies. So this made the whole installation process incredibly quick. So at the moment we now have a PC card that is running PC-DOS, as you can see here. So what we can actually do is we can, if we need to, just quit out of this, or we can go back in and do a little bit more work if we needed to. The next time I'm going to be installing a copy of Windows, very likely, see what we can actually do with that. But just to show you what I actually did, so using the FTP application I have, which I covered in a previous video, using RiscPC, that will load up very shortly. Connect through to my NAS. Might help if I use the correct IP. Connect to my NAS, browse into the relevant folder and RiscPC folder. I've got a copy of PC-DOS here with each of the individual disk images here. What I can do is go straight to drive C. So straight into here. I could create myself, if I wanted, a directory. That's if I, there we are. So we'll call that image. And if I go into one and select all over here, I can drag all of this straight onto the PC hard drive. Now, dragging it straight onto the PC hard drive means that it's not going to go via RiscOS, it's not going to have any changes to the file names, so the traditional PC format, file name format, will be kept intact, which is very useful if you are transferring things across. Being able to do this makes it a lot easier. I don't have to swap disks around, I don't have to burn things to CD. I can upload them directly to my NAS, stick them into the share that has been enabled for FTP, and then copy them straight onto the PC, which is very, very handy indeed. Once this is completed, you can actually then move on to your next volume. You do the same thing again. So you select all, you drag over and drop into here, into your main image, and then you do that for all of the other floppies. And when you actually come to it, you can then run Setup directly from the hard disk. This does seem to work with PC-DOS. It does not work with MS-DOS 6.22, which requires that it wants to be run directly from floppy. There is possible that there may be some workarounds for that, but for the sake of just keeping things easy for myself, I haven't done any of those workarounds. I've literally just taken a copy of PC-DOS, which I know works, doing it in this particular way. The one thing I've noticed is the PC card that I have. So my original machine had a 486 SX40 PC card. This machine is sporting a 486 DX280, and the difference in speed is quite staggering. This copy of DOS literally took 3 minutes to install from start to finish. All it had to do was extract a load of files, copy them to another directory on the hard drive, and that was it. Installed unbelievably quickly. In fact, it actually took longer to copy all of the images off of the files off of the FTP than it did to install the package itself. One thing that you will need is a floppy disk, and you can use the Make Boot Disk app, which is available in the Aleph-1 PC card software version 3.06. You can use the Make Boot Disk application to make yourself a DOS boot disk or a DOS compatible boot disk, and that will allow you to boot up the PC image and start installation of the software. Once you've got DOS on there though, the world is your oyster as regards retro DOS gaming goes. And I'll be trying some of that on this machine, because I do seem to remember on my old image it was a little bit sort of jerky with certain applications, so it would be interesting to see if that has actually changed with the faster processor. Anyway, that's it for today. If you found this video interesting, don't forget to hit the like button, don't forget to subscribe, and I will see you next time. Thank you very much for watching.